Hey y'all, what's up girls? Back at it again. Welcome to a brand new episode of Gifted Since 92. So here I'm going to talk about what I read yesterday. And the news, it has hit a home run for me for a while. But this topic, I'm going to do the best that I can to express my thoughts and my concerns about the music business and the record industry. And so you guys just sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, get something to drink. And I'm going to be blunt, and I'm just going to be honest, and I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to turn to a Super Saiyan, so I'm in Super Saiyan mode. So, as I said in my previous video, if you looked at my previous video, it's under the music industry, my thoughts, something like that. But if you go on my channel, you'll see that's posted. So basically I did a rant about how the music industry isn't what it is now. I mean, not what it is now, what it used to be. And I've been thinking a lot, and I'm just concerned, I'm worried, because all this stuff about the music in general, and especially with black artists, black guys in general, so be prepared, because I'm going to be blunt, and y'all can't handle it, this is not the channel. But I've been thinking about the artists that I have supported over the years. And then when I was a little girl, I was exposed to all kinds of music. I was exposed to the music from all the generations before me. The eras. I got exposed to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and early 2000s. And when I was a little youngin', I came from an era where I was exposed to a lot of hip-hop and R&B. And especially in that particular era, you had a lot of black artists flourishing. I mean, you had a lot of black artists with a lot of creativity, a lot of impact, a lot of innovation. And for some reason, there's just not enough. There's not enough variety as of right now. The reason is why, because one, the airplay is oversaturated with garbage. And two, the consumers of this current and this climate of music, they're not really opening their minds when it boils down to artists in general. Now, in their minds, they think that the popular artists or the artists that has more innovation, that they're able to maintain an audience, which is fine, because you have to maintain an audience and have to connect with your audience. But they think that an artist that sells a lot of records, an artist that charts high on the charts, I mean, I have to call a spade a spade, they're more talented, or people should, be all up in arms about them. Now I understand people, they have different music tastes. I understand that completely. But during my era, it was in the early 2000s, there was a period of black artists that they were able to maintain a core audience, and they were able to sell records and chart high and do high numbers. I mean, you had some black artists, I mean, this been going on for years. They had sold decent numbers. Some of them sold 1 million first week sales. Some of them broke, what they call them? I know this. Gosh, I know this in the back of my mind. They broke records from other artists. And not to get into this, oh, haha, y'all didn't matter. No, but during that era, and even the previous before, there was a lot of appreciation for music, especially with R&B and hip-hop. And I'm getting fucking sick and tired of people not being able to comprehend or try to connect. Because I recently, in an article, my favorite singer, Tinashe, I love Tinashe. I'm a dedicated Sweet Tea fan. I love Tinashe. I've always been there for Tinashe. I will forever be a Tinashe fan. Tinashe, along with other female R&B artists, I read an article about how the music business is shit. And when it boils down to black women artists in general, especially with female artists and male artists, but with the female black artists, there's this thing where it can only be a few at a time to get mainstream success. Okay, so there's only a few of them that can have mainstream success, and the rest of them, they're deserted on an island somewhere. They're stranded. Regardless that they're talented, they have a lot of innovation, creativity, but they're stranded on an island. So what Tinashe explained is that, including herself, she had dealt with the bias, the bullshit, the lack of support in general. I mean, she does have support, including me, okay, and the rest of Team Tinashe, hands down. But overall, more of the general audience, they overlook her because they haven't done their research on her. They haven't listened to her mixtapes. She has put out about 5 mixtapes before her debut album, and even one after her debut album. You guys know, if y'all hardcore Tinashe fans, we already know the drill. Y'all know Blackwater. Y'all know Red Rear, In Case We Die, Amethyst, and we already know her spectacular debut album Aquarius. Okay, and recently she put out Night Ride, and we already know Joyride. We're waiting for Joyride. We've been waiting for Joyride for 2 years. Okay, and we haven't heard anything from Joyride, only but her singles that she released. But the singles that she released, we know Super Love, we know Ride of Your Life, we know Company. Okay, Flame. So I'm just out of nowhere because I know my shit. I know about music, but it's getting frustrating. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to wait and be patient. No, I'm going to be there for my artists. I guarantee that. And I will. And that's how it is. But it's frustrating how these artists are not getting supported. And these record labels by now should know that you think you're going to just linger somebody's project, or then yet again you're going to just push them to the side, and you're just going to push them to the side, and you're not going to invest in your finances and your profits to invest and promote the artist that is on your record label. And you got a whole bunch of artists on the record label. I know there are labels that they got a whole bunch of artists on their record label, but the fucking issue is they damn sure ain't really helping them, investing in them, because as I stated before, this current is oversaturated with garbage. But let's get back to what Tinashe has spoken out about, and some of these stupid ass mofos, the ones that want to get all so up in the arms because some of them, they're not fans of Tinashe. That's fine. You don't have to be a fan of Tinashe. I ain't nobody making you be a fan of Tinashe, forcing you to be a fan of Tinashe. But I see these bird chirp mofos, when she speak out about stuff that is reality, they put on this fucking, because they don't support her, well, why should she say anything? Bitch, it applies to her, okay? Because she's an artist. She has the right to voice her perspective, because she's the one going out and having to deal with shit. She got to promote her shit. She got to book these stages. She got to connect with her fans. She already connect with her fans, including myself. So I don't want to hear that shit about, well, why is she on? She don't need to be saying nothing. Hello? And then I guarantee the same shit that she's speaking about, it's the same shit your artist is going through. So you need to sit down. Don't act like your ass think you so this and that. And I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, she's right. Because she's not the only one. And there have been plenty of female R&B artists that have been overlooked because of the record business backwards mentality and because of the bullshit. And I'm tired of my black artists. A lot of them, they have a lot of talent, they got a lot of innovation, but they get overlooked because you got race, you got colorism, and then you have politics, which I will get into those 3 main assets because they do play a part in what's going on. So that applies with Tinashe. And Tinashe has spoken out countless times. She haven't even spoken about it, but she, through her experiences as an artist, and she spoke about how it got frustrating for her that she won't be able to have that innovation. She won't express her art, and then you got the record business, the people behind the record executives, all that shit. I know all this shit in the back of my hand. They telling her, they tell other artists that, oh well, no, you should stay in one box. No, you should put this kind of records out because this is what everybody else is doing. This is the trend. So you put these trends, you put trends instead of setting them. And she's like, hell no. So we get to her speaking about how it was frustrating for her to even deal with that, and then she's not going to waste her artistry or downplay it, okay, dumb it down, okay, in order for her to get the mainstream success. Nah, because during my era, you had quality music, you had substance, you had records that had meaning, records that made you feel something, that had a connection. You had artists, and still to this day, there are artists that still have that connection, that feeling that they put in their records. And it's not some bullshit that you hear on the airplay. But as this current, they're getting overlooked. But even during my era, when I was early 2000s, I was exposed to Missy Elliott, Lil Kim, Eve, Anne-Marie, Alicia Keys, Destiny's Child, when they was a band. And even when Beyonce went solo, I was exposed to her too. And you had Ashanti, Anne-Marie, Ja Rule, Nelly. The early 2000s music was the shit. It's still the shit. Man, I'm telling you, I'm so thankful that I got exposed to music at such a young age, because I ain't never had that mentality of supporting my favorite artists, and just because they don't fit the standard of what the mainstream want them to be, I'm just going oh well, y'all don't matter. Nah, I'll never do that, because I'm into music and I know good music because I got exposed to it. So for me, getting exposed to music at such a young age, and I never had that mentality that some of these delusional people, the consumers, have this, well, if you have low album sales, that means you're not talented. Oh, if you're not charting high on the charts, you're not talented. Oh, you're a flop. Bullshit. And then, as far as I'm concerned, I just sit back and watch how some of these stupid, ignorant fans, some of them, not all of them, some of these stupid, ignorant fans and stans, they go back and forth, getting into cliques, bullying other artists, tearing out other artists, starting these fan wars and stan wars. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all don't see what's going on? Or y'all just want to just act like, okay, well, this shit is like what? Because I'm telling you, that's how I noticed it just got, to me, to be honest, in my perspective, the music has gotten worse. Okay? Now, it's gotten worse. It gotten worse. After 2000s, after 2008, it started going downhill. And then black artists started to get the end of the stick. They start to struggle. Even the black artists, even the established black artists that were able during the era of the early 2000s and the 1990s, like such as Mariah Carey and Alicia Keys and Usher, okay, and Lil Kim and Sierra and gosh, just a lot of them. Keisha Cole, you know, they had their success and they sold albums. They have earned and sold plats, double platinum, triple platinum, diamond, platinum. Nowadays, who's selling diamond, platinum albums? Who's selling triple platinum albums? Who's selling double platinum albums? Who getting gold certifications and shit? Who is doing it? I'm not tearing them apart, but who this current of black artists, who is selling 1 million albums first week sales? Because I can name a couple of artists black artists that sold albums first week sales. I can name a couple of them. I can recall when let's see, 50 Cent. He was another one. 50 Cent sold like what, a million? I don't know what album it was. I don't know what it was. I can't remember that. I know the era, but he sold a million first week sales. You had Lil Wayne. You know, I'm not a huge fan of Lil Wayne, but I give credit where it's due. He sold a million records first week sales. Hell, even when Kanye versus 50 Cent, that was one of the most memorable of music. Kanye West sold more than 50 Cent, but that was cool. But you saw two black artists, they sold records. So you know what happened? What happened was radio airplay started to get shitty. And then, after I say 2008, radio airplay started to mock black artists, culture, and music. Okay? And then I understand my videos are going to get very intellectual. It's going to get personal, because I'm going to put my input, because I have experience being a fan, being a supporter, being a dedicated supporter and a consumer to my favorite artists. And I will do what it do, and I will slay, and I guarantee I will be right there for them forever. Because as I stated before, this current, I look at how these fan bases, how they go at each other's throats about comparing artists to one another instead of just appreciating what they got to bring out and just buy the music. But see, the thing is too, they also, the music business, they have also put out other alternatives for artists to even sell albums in general. They doing streams now, so that's counting as album sales. Whereas before, during my era as a little young and my little black ass, radio stations, they be like, yo, so-and-so sold a million first week sales. Oh, so-and-so went double platinum. Oh, so-and-so. I'm like, who? In a good way. So-and-so sold, and it happened. I mean, black artists were thriving. They were thriving. They were just selling records, and man, it was a great, that era was so great. And even before the 1990s, the black artists such as Aaliyah and Brandy and Janet Jackson and Mariah Carey and Michael Jackson, and man, the list goes on. And then now it's like ain't nobody selling shit. I mean, barely selling. I mean, I'm just saying, they're not selling high, they're not selling as much, and not to, downplay that, oh, you selling low but you ain't worth nothing. No, but I'm just saying it's a lot different from where I was coming up. I was exposed to the good shit. I was like, yes, like the artists were able to just sell records, and they was able to get these platinum albums and these certifications. I'm sitting there like, yeah, that was my era. That was my era. I have to be honest, man. All this shit about, oh, your fave is a flop, sit the fuck down. Your ass ain't supporting, sit the fuck down. I don't want to hear that shit. And then it goes to show you how backwards the consumers, they don't understand. They can't connect with how the record business works. And yes, I understand how the record business works because I watch documentaries such as Unsung. I love those documentaries where artists were able to tell their stories, what they went through, and how they pushed through their obstacles. And I also watch documentaries such as Behind the Music. Artists that were able to tell their stories about how the record business was, how they had to fight for their art. That's what you got to do. So when you fight for your art, I got a lot of respect for you. And I have to be honest, it's getting to the point where I'm getting fucking tired of my black artists getting treated like they ain't supposed to thrive. And then I read something from some comments that made me angry, because I know my stuff. I saw on my social media account, I read about it was a couple comments about how the article about Tinashe and then the other female R&B artists, how they're not getting enough exposure, they're not getting enough support from the major general public because of race, colorism, and politics. And then I read, which was something very alarming. The comments were, well, people can't blame race based on the why black artists ain't thriving. I'm sitting there like, in my timid voice, are you serious? Nah. Bullshit. That really alarmed me, and that really got me angry, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, so for all the artists, so for the black artists that I supported, that I've been there for, that I bought their albums, first thing was when it came out to the store, and they're black artists, okay, and you say, well, race, people want to blame race. I'm saying to myself, people are not blaming race. It is the truth. Because you mean to tell me that, okay, you got these black artists that have maintained the tradition of keeping R&B and hip-hop alive, but instead of the general public appreciating them, and they're not going out their way for them, but if there's other artists that does that genre of R&B and hip-hop, and if they're not black, I'm not saying, and hold on to your fucking horses, I swear to God, these bird chirping ass motherfuckers trolls, they're gonna try to twist my words. I'll be ready for them, turn to a Super Saiyan. But the non-black artists that they do R&B and hip-hop, and they end up getting a lot of exposure, they end up getting a lot of praise, they end up getting a lot of, this is really great and it has a lot of innovation, and the black artists that get stranded on a damn desert island. I don't motherfucking think so. Or to make it really messed up, where you got some of these non-black artists, some, I'm not saying all, I said some, they use the black culture, they use the culture, they mock it. They used to do the other genre, they do pop, and they do country, and then they'll tap into doing the hip hop and R&B, and they'll just do it just for a little while, and then all of a sudden after that they're done with it, they go right back to it. They go right back to going pop and country, instead of them just embracing the R&B and the hip hop. You got some, and I'm gonna name a couple artists that they appreciate the R&B and hip hop. Some non-black artists. I got exposed to Tina Marie. I love Tina Marie. Tina Marie, hands down. She was white. She was white, but she was talented. She had a lot of creative input as well. I could tell that she had a lot of creative input as well. Not just saying that, but I can tell she grew up with black music, black artists were around, being around and hearing R&B. And then when she was able to get herself out there, and the black people did support her, they did like her, they bought her shit, and she embraced it, and she loved it. She loved R&B and hip-hop. She loved music. And she didn't put on the usual, okay, I'm just going to do R&B and hip-hop for a little bit, and then I'll just go back. So no, she was the real deal. There's only a few of them. They're the real deal. They ain't your typical, well, I'm not going to mention any names, but Tina Marie was the real deal, okay? Bless her soul, okay? JoJo, singer JoJo, she's another one. She's the real deal. JoJo embraced R&B and hip hop because she really, really loved it, the music. And then, she's still doing it. And she went through some stuff too. She she went through some stuff too. She went through some messed up stuff with record label that I'm not gonna get into it. But you see how messed up the record business is to certain artists, and it should need to stop. But she got herself. She got herself. She had signed to another record label, and recently she put out an album called Mad Love, and it did decent numbers and it sell high. But her records, they did. I mean, her records, from what I heard, they were solid. They were cool. Another non-black artist, John B. Now, I heard of John B when I was a little youngin', and recently, not that long ago, he put out the Unsung documentary, and he's white, and he did R&B and hip-hop, but he was so into the music. He was into the of course, but you know, he was white. He's white, but he loved R&B and hip-hop. He embraced it. That's the music that he did. Then of course, we're gonna have to get to the nitty-gritty of this one, but I'm gonna be prepared for these troll mofos, because well, I had to put his ass in there because, I mean, I give credit where it's due. Justin Timberlake. But I'm not going to get to the damn incident. So don't, well, y'all want to bring that up. I ain't going to bring it up. But I know what damn happened. That was fucked up. That wasn't cute. But anyway. I ain't going to do my queen like that. I'm just saying. That was fucked up. But that's alright. But anyway. You'll get the message. Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake's another one. Justin Timberlake, when he was in that boy band NSYNC, he went solo. Music he started doing was R&B. Getting into R&B and hip-hop. And I have to be honest, even with him, I have never been a crazy Justin Timberlake supporter. I've never been a Justin Timberlake fan. Don't get twisted. I like some of his songs. I like some of his records. I mean, don't get twisted. I bop to him every blue moon, okay? I bop to him every blue moon. If I hear a Justin Timberlake record, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear that mother. No, I can tolerate him. Well, don't say tolerate. I don't say that. I can deal with him. He's fine. But to me, in my perspective, how some people, how they over hype him up. I'm like, y'all, seriously, just keep it cute. Seriously, but he's cool. He alright. But yeah, it's like. It's gotten to that point where, you know, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of my black artists getting ripped off, and they're not getting the acknowledgments that they need to get. And then I'm tired of these delusional people that think that, well, race don't play a factor, but it does play a factor, because guess what? You know, just how these award shows, like some of these award shows, especially these mainstream award shows, besides BET, which is the Black Entertainment Television Awards, besides the Soul Train Awards, which is another black avenue platform for black artists to express their art and their music. 106, besides 106 That Park, which should never been canceled, and I'm gonna get to that shit. Should never been canceled, but that's just another story. But it's like, you know, it gotten to this point where it's like, hey, black artists gotta fend for themselves. I mean, it's always been like that. And then, as far as I'm concerned, as a consumer, for the ones that I've been there for, I'm aware of it, so I'm not delusional. I don't have this delusion. Oh well, my artist, they ain't. No. Listen, you think that I'm the consumer and I've been there for my favorite artists, and I've always been there, and I've always been there for my artists, and I gotta be honest, just because they ain't mainstream enough, that don't mean that I'm not gonna have love for them. That's stupid. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna call out these stupid ass fans, because they need to fucking wake up, and they need to be on top of it. They need to get it right. They need to get together, because I'm starting to really sense fans that are not fans. They're just fans when they want to be fans, and they're not fans of the artist, and they're not appreciating the artist. So they're not fans. You're not a fan. You call yourself saying, I'm a fan of this person. But you get so into how, well, you know, they're not selling enough records. Well, you know how? Because it's backwards. And it's messed up. But, you know, like I said, I had to really see what was going on. But this been going on, so I'm not surprised. So it's not like, oh, I'm so upset, you know, surprised that. But I noticed how, you know, I've seen other people talking about how frustrating that black artists in general, they're not getting a lot of support. And people are not going out their way for them. And it's messed up. And we got to do something about it. Because you call yourself talking about, well, there's not a lot of variety and artists, and I'm tired of hearing the same old, same old. Well, guess what? You gonna have to go to the store and buy your artist material. You say you're a fan, you go to the store. Go to the store and buy their album, okay? And then go back to how the interview on the Breakfast Club with Missy L and Timberland. Them two, they truth, because they told it. They said, listen, we were emerging, we was doing our own thing. We wanted to be creative, and we were inspired by artists that came before us, and they inspired us, and we appreciate them to this day. We got a lot of love for them because that what made us push for us to be who we are and put our music, and we want people to have that connection with us. They're the real deal. They've been the real deal. So I love Missy Elliott and Timberland. They told it, and they's like, listen, you don't support your own. How the heck how you gonna expect for everybody else to support your own, but you don't support your own? And I even noticed how with these damn platforms, well, such as the Breakfast Club, I don't dig, because recently they've been doing some stupid shit. I mean, they've been doing stupid shit, but people been calling them out these stupid shit, which is great. But they shenanigans. You need to support your own, because these other platforms, they will not allow a whole bunch of black artists to get. I'm not saying they will not, but to be honest, before, during my era, the VMAs, for example, there was a lot of black artists that did get recognition, and they did get the support. I'm not gonna sit up there and say, well, VMAs never supported black artists. No, they have. But before, VMAs was fucked up. And I'll give you a little history lesson. Michael Jackson. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I have read in the autobiography, VMAs, MTV, MTV. They didn't want to play his shit. So his fans got upset, and it was like, y'all fucked up and all this and that and third. And he wasn't the only black artist that people loved. I mean, it was a lot of them. But then he broke the barriers. I mean, his supporters, they kept supporting him. Because Michael Jackson, he was one of those entertainers that he was just universal. I mean, that man was such a genius in innovation in music. I mean, he was very, very, very innovative. I mean, I grew up with Michael Jackson ever since my little black ass wanted to do the moonwalk. Okay, I love Michael Jackson, but he told it. He said, "Yeah, we gotta do better," and he broke barriers. That's how the entertainers of this current. I can see a couple of them. I see his impact and his influence, and also with his sister Janet Jackson. She's another one, because she broke the barrier. And it's getting to the point where it's like, hell, you know, I'm concerned, because I notice how this current emerging artists, they got a lot of innovation, but the issue is the mainstream platforms, they ain't gonna do but much. They'll do what they're gonna do, support, but they're not gonna do for everyone. I mean, they're just biased, but that's just my perspective. But it's like, yeah, it doesn't make no sense. And then people want to get up there and say, well, it's because, you know, it's a new current of artists. I'm saying, yeah, but guess what? Don't you want your artists to have longevity? Because I can name a lot of artists during my era that had longevity. And Missy Elliott, she told it. It's like, it's not about how quick you build houses, it's how long it lasts. Exactly. That's how Missy Elliott, recently Missy Elliott, people like, man, Missy Elliott, she should need to get a Vanguard Music Award for VMAs. And definitely, hell yeah, it's long overdue. And then when Missy Elliott headlined Super Bowl, Katy Perry, and then some of the current, they didn't know who she was. It was like, what? You don't know who Missy Elliott is? I know who Missy Misdemeanor Elliott is. All of that good stuff. My era was everything. My era shitted. It was it shitted. I'm talking about in a good way. It was like Missy Elliott just. I'm excited for what she gonna do. I know recently she put out "I'm Better." I love that record. But like, man, she's one of those, you know, the innovation, and that's how it is. She explained, yo, you know, you gotta keep going. Don't let these mofos tell you, well, you can't do this and be this. Because guess what? She went through it with her documentary behind the music, and she stood up for herself. She's like, no, I'm not taking no shit. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do with my art. It's my art. So I got respect for people that fight for their art. But yeah, it needs to get back to that, because I'm just concerned for this current. I think this current is going to really, I mean, it's going to shift, but I don't think that. I think the emerging artists, in my perspective, I think that there's going to be a couple of them that's going to make an impact. They're going to break down the barriers. And I'm not going to be like, well, who's going to actually, I mean, who's going to do it? But I just think that they're starting to get, you know, to get more exposure, as they should a little bit. But it's like, yeah, you know, they need to get more exposure. That's just my 2 cents. But I'll make another video too. I'll do another part 2. But this is just the basics. This is just, so it'll be, this is part 1. So I'll do a part 2. So once I do the part 2, y'all see why I love music. Alright, y'all. Well, that's all I got for part 1. So guys, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Comment below, subscribe, like, share, and stay tuned on the next episode. Get this 92 Dragon Ball Z reference.